I'm starting to play football again. We won a tournament in Edinburgh Tuesday. I never thought I'd kick a football again, because obviously you're not thinking about that when you're knee deep in cocaine.
So Blair, well, first of all, thanks for coming along and meeting with me here today.
No worries.
Could you tell me a bit about your life before you found yourself dealing with addiction? What were your goals and where did you see yourself heading?
Before I was addicted to cocaine, I was playing in the pool league in the pubs and leaving in Glenoffice, and that life was okay. I didn't start using cocaine till I was later on in my life, about 24, 25. All my pals used drugs or drank alcohol to excess, and I was sober, so I had a better insight to how they were acting in that, and it looked like they just took all their worries away in their life, and I says, I want a bit of that, try that. So I did, and in hindsight it's probably the worst thing I've ever done. I'm also a bad at gambling as well. At DGA it's like saying never place your first bet or never take your first line of coke, and then if you don't do that you're never going to know what it's like. And I'd done both, and then I got addicted to both. Since COVID, since lockdown, my life's been unmanageable. I took cocaine for 6 years, but the first 3 years was recreational. I didn't think about it. It was a good buzz, but I could stop. I knew when to stop. And then since COVID hit, I just started taking cocaine all the time because my structure was away. I couldn't do anything. I was sitting in. And then I found out a drug dealer was still dropping off cocaine, and that's all I did, and that's how I got hooked on it.
What did you find were the biggest difficulties you faced in starting your journey into recovery?
I had to cut off a lot of friends. I had to make a lot of sacrifices. People that I've knew since I was 5-year-old. Even cut off some family because I know what they were like. It was hard, but I need to put myself first in this situation now. I used to always be a crowd pleaser. I always just wanted to say yes to everybody. And then finally, one day, I changed. I couldn't go for this anymore. I wanted to change my life. I wanted to become clean. That's my future goal in life, to come clean. I don't really want to go back to the past. I just want to keep progressing to the future and try and get better.
So that must be quite a big problem that most people face, is sort of disassociating themselves with the group. How did you go about achieving it? Did you just break off clean, or did you have a method?
Well, one night I told my family what was all going on, and I phoned the NHS 24 and they told me to go down to the Vic, and I met a team down there. It was, I can't exactly mind what they were called, and they got me in contact with Adapt at Linton Lane, and I went there for an appointment, and I had to explain everything what was going on in my life. And then she gave me 2 numbers for First, Fast and Adapt and that. And from there it's just progressively kicked off. I'm currently in recovery now, early stages. I've only been through the door a couple of months, maybe 3 now. I've had a few relapses in that time. Recovery is always hard in the first stages, but I'm clean now, and I'm trying my best to stay clean. I've met a lot of good people through coming through here. People that understand you, people that don't judge you. I'm starting to play football again. We won a tournament in Edinburgh Tuesday. I won it last month. I never thought I'd kick a football again, because obviously you're not thinking about that when you're knee deep in cocaine. But I can't thank the people enough that's helping me now.
So obviously you've been in touch with Adapt and Phoenix Futures as well. Is there any other services that you've been in touch with?
Well, First has been a big help to me. Cara, it's like, I don't know if it's a key worker sort of thing that helps you in that at First. She got me in contact with Paul for First. He's been really, really good. I've been doing cooking classes with First. I never thought I could cook in my life. Never made anything. So I've always had somebody to do it for me. But over the last 8 weeks, 9 weeks, I've done really, really well. I've made a few good dishes and that. I've been doing gardening classes too, drumming classes, just life skills that I never thought I'd do or had the confidence to do or never do again. I just wanted to try and find out where my next hit was for. Since coming to recovery cafes, I've been getting better, more confidence, doing life skills and that. Playing football again all the time. I love football, it's my passion. Everything they do, the recovery cafes, is unbelievable.
Have you found yourself facing any kind of stigmatisation with your addiction?
Yeah, I have. No in cafes, but outside world, yeah, I have. A lot of people don't speak to me now. A lot of my good pals don't speak to me now through me taking cocaine all the time and that. But I think your true pals will stick by you through thick and thin. But obviously, I know who my real pals are now, outside world, and I know who aren't. But coming into the cafes and that, just gave me a new lease of life, folk that didn't judge you, folk that have been through the same thing, and they don't judge you. It's good, really good. I just could be myself in here and that. Never able to be myself outside. Just lived a lie kind of thing.
Well, what would you say to people who didn't understand addiction? Maybe people that like to blame the person for the situation they find themselves in?
I think the only people that understand addiction really is people that's had an addiction themselves. You have to be going through it or been through it to understand what people are going through. Folk think if you take drugs you're a bad person. You're not, you make wrong decisions in life, and addiction's so powerful. It's an illness, I think. It's like one hit's never enough, you can't stop. Not as bad saying, but I wish I could do things in recreational and stopping that, but I can't. I don't think anybody wants to be an addict in life. I don't believe it at all, but it's hard to change that mindset to try and come clean all together, and hopefully I'm one of the statistics that say you've done it and completed it.
Where do you see yourself going now? What are your goals?
I'm currently making steps forward to going to Phoenix residential in Annie's Land, so that could take up the next 6 months, and I'm desperate. I want it so much to come clean and never think about cocaine again. That's my goals in life, and then when I've done that, I can become back to being a normal person kind of thing, and happy, and maybe start doing driving lessons, get a job, and just try and do things that normal life is. I pray and wish I could get that one day, just want to be clean and sober.